Hi, and welcome to the Weekly, your source for innovation and trends in the construction market. So, everyone that knows me knows I've been dying to get to 2021, as most people have been. So, 2021 gets here, and what happens? Went skiing, fell, tore my bicep tendon, and that's the next 12 weeks of my life. Not really skiing, fell, somebody pulled me up. That's a long story. Also, we had the disaster in DC. Really a disgrace to us and who we are as a country. And I think maybe we got to the darkest point. And my feeling is we're going to move forward and it's going to end up being better for everybody. So if we all think that way, I promise you it can happen. We did have some big news at SGC Horizon this week. We were named the official partner with National Association of Home Builders, NAHB. And this is a great partnership. We're very complementary organizations. We have great audiences and great content. By putting those together, we'll really be able to deliver something that no one else has. So check it out. You'll be seeing a lot more around that. So let's get into today's show. Our sponsor today is Life of an Architect podcast. And there's two guys on there, Bob Borson and Andrew Hawkins. And they're funny, and they're entertaining, and they're educational, and they're interesting. It's kind of what you want from that experience. And if you want to know about all things architectural, and maybe some things that have nothing to do with that, listen to the podcast. It's very cool. Our first segment today talks about innovation in passive house design, engineering, and construction. And we know with new construction, passive house design can be executed pretty easily. But what about with existing housing? So we go to Brooklyn. There's 144 units. The tenants stay in the units while the reconstruction goes. At the end of reconstruction, they've saved 80% of the energy cost, and there's a real emphasis on indoor air quality, which is perfect with COVID.
Okay, so let's talk about Grove Street. Chris, what was the goal here with Grove Street? You got tenants in place and you're doing passive house. What's going on here?
Well, I wouldn't say it's easy to design a passive house and go through the construction process with new construction. But the big issue here is the many existing buildings that we have. And though most architects prefer doing new construction, the big problem is dealing with these existing buildings where we have tenants. So the idea here was to try to come up with a strategy where we could do a passive house treatment to the building with tenants in place with minimal disruption to their lives.
In our next segment, we talked to Jason Sandiford. He's managing director of the Gensler office in Vancouver. What makes this special? This office is only 1 year old and has basically had to be launched during the pandemic. How do you do that? How do you keep the culture together? And to Jason's point, could this actually be perfect timing to launch a new office?
Gensler is known for its long research and thought leadership on a variety of topics, and the coronavirus and the pandemic that has affected everybody is no exception to that. We've conducted many work from home surveys to get an idea of what employers and employees alike are both expecting and what a work from home or a return to work scenario might look like. And so as we've been having those conversations with clients, with other consultants, and internally, we have really been listening and trying to take that into account as we look into 2021 and beyond, where we're going to be working in a new paradigm. And it's probably going to be a hybrid between an office scenario and working from home. So We just try to work very closely. We try to maintain lots of meetings with Zoom and Teams and other resources where we can virtually meet. We're not just on the phone with each other. We're looking each other in the face, looking each other in the eye, being able to pick up on all those subtle cues of human interaction, and even though it's at a distance.
So that ends our show for this week. As always, we greatly appreciate you joining us. If you'd like to see any of our older segments, please check them out on HTV or on YouTube. They all have individual segments, so you can watch exactly what you want. If you'd like to see any topics in future shows, please email me at tmancini@sgcmail.com. Big shout out to Life of an Architect podcast. It's fun and entertaining and educational. That alone should get you to at least check it out. And we very much look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Be safe. Let's stay diligent. Thanks for joining.